not sponsored, but we are sitting down to dinner, and we have some weird ones.
Yeah,
Leftovers.
we have a weird dinner tonight. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to hang out with us, whether you're joining us live right now or whether you're watching this after it's recorded. We know that it's back to school season, and we're going to talk about that. But first, you want to tell them what we're having for dinner?
Well, first, let's start with something pretty. I went out and picked a fresh jalapeno or jalapeno, however you say it. I picked a fresh one off of our plants, and I took a tomato from our friend's garden and a little bit of purple onion. I was purposely not going to drink one of those so we weren't burping on the live stream.
I need it.
And he just got a seltzer water. It makes us burp. Anyway, I chopped up all the pieces really small. This is a very small spoon. This is a very small bowl, just for like proportion. Teeny tiny. Anyway, I chopped up the little things teeny tiny, and we're going to have a taste test from Peter. He did taste it once, but now it has a satin vegetable. And he wanted to taste it without chips, so.
I mean, chips would be good too.
Oh. So what?
It's good. I feel like it's very tomatoey.
Is it?
I don't know. That's the overarching flavor I'm getting. Just tomato.
Just tomato.
It's really good. I like that.
What about this bite?
Let me try it with Triscuit.
Okay.
Let's try that. Anyways, did you add lime?
We don't have
any lime. Whenever we get lemon or lime, we like never use them, and then they turn like, you know how they turn hard? Weird. Oh, everybody. Hey. Oh, I'm glad. Let's see. I'm glad you could join us in Edinburgh.
Yes.
We sometimes like to try to do these earlier so that people in other time zones can join us. It doesn't always work, but.
Are you getting like a spicy wave, or are you trying not to burp?
Trying not to burp.
Here you go. That reminds me of when your grandmother asked us, "Do you feed each other?"
Oh yeah, that was funny. We were like just started dating. We thought it was a weird question,
but she was spot on.
Yep.
Okay, then we have this.
That looks weird.
It looks very disgusting. It is a leftover, basically like a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell, except it's not from Taco Bell. It's from Moe's, which is a little bit more of a sit-down, less of a fast food restaurant.
More like a Chipotle.
Right. That sort of feel. Burp count number 1. And anyway, it was our leftover, so I just put it in the toaster oven. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing good. Guys, I'm in a lot of pain today, and I don't know why. I've got this shooting pain.
Yeah, you haven't described the exact where.
Okay. It's a shooting pain that's like goes from like right here.
Okay, let me feel it.
All the way through my shoulder.
Like this way or into your nucleus?
Way. Into like inside, yeah.
So does this hurt when I do this? Or does that feel good?
That feels good.
Or is it neutral?
I mean, it's kind of neutral / good.
So.
Anyways, it's weird. I don't know if I slept on it funny because I can't think of anything I did to it. Anyway,
I don't know, but he just took some ibuprofen, and hopefully my salsa will cure him.
Anyways, while we eat some dinner, we're going to talk about back to school. If you are back to school, whether you are in, what do you call regular school? Like
school age?
School age? Is primary school like elementary school?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, whether you're in school or college, grade school.
Grade school.
Yes, thank you. You guys are.
You got our back, Mama Point.
You should be doing this live stream. So if you're.
Whether you're in grade school, college, post-grad, doctoral, whatever.
Or whatever's going on in your life, whether you're. We thought you might be interested in hearing a little bit about Mary's college experience and.
And before I do that, as I went and got my all-trace bottle, it reminded me when I went to summer camp, at the beginning of the week, Mom would drop us off and introduce me to the nurse.
Okay.
because at the camp I went to, they would keep our medications locked up in like a, like a lockup thing.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have a conversation? You just
I'm looking at the comments. It's distracting. I'm trying to listen to everybody.
So should I
at
talk to
once.
them or you?
You. I don't know. You get. Tell me. I want to hear the story. Okay.
Okay. So she would lock up all our medicines.
Okay.
I'm really concerned for you. Are you okay? So
I think when I have like pain, I just like have trouble focusing.
That makes sense. What about like when you raise it, lower it?
Raise it to here is fine.
Okay. What about frontward?
That hurts.
That hurts distinctly.
Really distinctly.
Interesting.
I don't know.
So then what about if you do like this? Your body doesn't want you to do
It
that.
hurts at one spot in that
Okay.
rotation. Anyways.
Okay. Well,
I
I kind of feel like we should ace bandage it to you like this, immobilize it.
I'm fine. Just give it time. Let's talk about college. I miss college.
Okay, so can I tell you the rest of my summer camp?
Yes. Summer
So anyway,
camp.
we would have our enzymes locked up in the thingy
Mm-hmm.
and in the nurse's cabinet.
Yeah.
And then right before lunch,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like lunchtime, whatever.
Okay.
All the kids go running into their like dressing rooms or whatever they are.
I
changing
get
rooms.
dressed for lunch.
No, like where all your stuff is.
Like
your lunch
put
box.
on your lunch uniform.
Honey.
Okay.
So you'd get your lunchbox. Mine was a Dalmatian, 101 Dalmatian one.
Okay.
Anyway,
What were you wearing?
I don't know. And then I guess we would go to the nurse then. You get your lunchbox, go to the nurse, and then you go to where your team is sitting.
Okay, so
that's how I got my all trace in summer school.
Summer school. Summer camp.
Summer camp.
Okay.
But I was homeschooled, so CF life and grade school, I can't speak to that experience because I was homeschooled.
Yeah.
But college. So college is a challenge, whether you have CF or not.
This is true.
What are some of the challenges you faced when you got to college?
The biggest thing is like the balancing of life, you know?
Okay, there's that.
What are you gonna say my challenges were? Let's answer this for each other.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try this.
So when you get to college, you start eating college food.
Oh yeah.
And what happens?
Digestive challenges.
Yeah. So a normal person at our school, it is like known fact that everybody's digestive tract goes through an adjustment period at the student dining room.
Yeah, the cafeteria.
You have to get used to the food. So for the first 2 weeks, everybody has diarrhea.
Oh, man. The adjustment. So for having cystic fibrosis, how did that affect you?
I was like, did I forget to take my enzymes every meal? No. I mean, it was just the same as any part of life. Like you bring your pills but okay, to your point of learning to balance everything.
Yeah.
It was a distinct challenge to figure out schoolwork, class schedule, dorm life, a whole new city, and a new cystic fibrosis clinic, new doctors, new nurses, and taking care of my body.
And doing school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you mention that?
Yeah. Getting it all done. It was very challenging. And as they always say, something's got to give. You literally can't do it all. And sleep. I remember thinking school, social, CF life, and sleep. They don't all fit. You cannot possibly do them all.
So something's got to give.
Basically. And I think for each semester, you figure out these classes are way harder, so more of my attention needs to go to homework. And then the next semester, you'll have some easy classes, and you can spend more time with the girls on your dorm floor. or, whatever it is. So that's kind of like the overarching handling CF life and
everything else of
college life.
Yeah.
But I talked a lot more about like the germ component and living with a roommate on my CF roommate Q&A, or
I think it's Cystic Fibrosis Roommate Q&A, I think is what it's called. You can type that in Google, and I'm pretty sure our video will come up.
And my roommate is in that video, so she answers a lot of questions about like the dynamics of having a CF roommate, like what that was like for her. And I was really thankful to have a roommate who really was willing to learn and understand. But
you had a lot of roommates.
I did have a lot of roommates, but this one learned and understood CF. And that is humongous with my success in being a CF person who was in college. Yeah. We were able to keep it as safe of an environment as possible, germ-wise. I did not catch one cold during my entire college career, except for one time when I was home at Christmas or something, and I caught a cold while I was home. But like at college, I never once caught a cold. And that was not because I didn't hang out with people. I hung out with people all the time. I stayed as careful as possible. Everybody on my dorm floor knew if you have snot coming out of you, don't go near Mary's door. And people respected that, and I really appreciated that. But I had to get, I think in college, like 5 hours of sleep was...
Wow.
I learned to live off of that. Not consistently. I got more than that mostly, but.
Were there any moments in college where you were like working on school or like had
spicy?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Go ahead.
Where you had I don't know, just a moment of decision. I have to say no to something because of my health.
I probably said no to a lot of little things consistently, like overcommitting or I remember sometimes not being able to go to a meeting because somebody there was sick or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I was also like, I was an ARA, I think.
Okay.
On Smith 6.
Okay. Like an assistant RA. Take your all trace. Public service announcement from the Fry Life. So, how about things like eating? Was diet, like weight wasn't so much of a challenge when you were in college?
Appetite was a challenge, but weight was pretty stable.
Yeah.
And of course, we were living downtown Chicago, so I was walking a ton. And so I needed to eat. And I remember Tamara, I remember she used to try to help, like, spur my appetite.
Oh, funny.
I'm trying to remember. I wish she was here. We could, like, go back and forth about this. But I almost remember having pictures of food up on our fridge to, like, make me hungry. I don't know if that worked.
But
funny. She would, she and I would eat together sometimes, and I think that helped. I remember we used to have a George Foreman grill.
Okay.
I want you to tell some food stories from your dorm life, too, because you guys have some awesome ones. We had a George Foreman grill, and we would, like, do hot dogs on the George Foreman grill. We really enjoyed it. And I remember sitting on the floor eating hot dogs. Just like these crazy college memories. Now, I think there's a reality with CF and college life. I've seen it some in social media that some CF patients go to college, and because of the like academic load, just the extra stress and the extra responsibilities on top of CF life, it's these patients are doing the best that they possibly can, and their bodies keep getting sick and keep going in the hospital and that sort of thing. And unfortunately, I think that is inevitable. In some ways, it's inevitable. When you put, and of course, everybody's body is different, but when you're putting extra, I don't want to use the word stress because I'm not talking about like emotional stress. I'm talking about like the physical load of being at class every day.
Early morning classes.
Right. Not sleeping as much, having a lot of like social responsibilities, like all of these things add up. And even if you're doing your vest twice a day and taking your pills and going to CF clinic, your body is handling a lot more. Does that mean you shouldn't go to college? No, I don't think so. I think it's something to take into consideration, and I think every patient is different. I have a friend who had to make the choice to stop college because of how CF was working out, and I completely supported that decision. Other people, on the other hand, have kept going through college even when their health was struggling. And I think that all of these are valid. For me, my health was more stable back then. So I was able to do it, and I'm really grateful for that. It was during those years that I really learned that this is my body, this is my responsibility, and I need to do my very best to take care of it. That first semester was a lot of learning curve for me. Like I said, how do I fit all of school, social, sleep, and CF all into a 24-hour period? And oftentimes I would miss my vest because you can't physically do it all. But what shifted after that first semester was that I started putting CF care at the top of the priority list. So that means instead of that being like, I don't have time for it, that's what I would do first. And then whatever I didn't have time for, if that means I had less time for an assignment and I got a lower grade, so be it. Like that was my best. And I think that that's something that not only for CF patients, but everybody, sometimes your best might not be an A, and that's because of external circumstances. Like, yes, if I didn't have CF and I had all the time in the world, I could have gotten higher grades because I had more focus or more time to focus or whatever it is. But for me, I'm thankful for the experience. I learned a lot. I graduated, and I'm grateful for that, and I survived.
Yeah, I think that's an accomplishment. I think, like Mary said, it's you have to look at your individual scenario of where your health's at and what your body and your energy can handle, and make decisions based on that. But college was fun for us, and we
What?
nothing.
I don't know if I dropped something.
I don't know. We have a lot of good memories. We're actually headed to Chicago later this fall, and hopefully spend some time there reminiscing of our college experiences. But
so I think you should tell some stories from your dorm floor.
Well, like what?
Like wing night.
Oh, we would have wing night. We would go, and I think we had about 50 guys on our dorm floor, and we'd all pitch in, I don't know, like $10, and we'd buy.
That adds up.
So, that's $500. So, and then they had 35-cent wing night. Actually, let me do the math here.
So, here, do you want to use it?
500.
525,000.
Wait, that's not right.
He's calculating.
I don't think we got that many wings, but we
probably got between 500 and 1,000 wings.
No, I think we got like 600 or 700 wings, and we would just have these trays of Buffalo Wild Wings, and we'd have them all in the lounge and
What trays? Like
no,
SDR?
they would give them to you at, like when you order like a whole bunch of wings. They'll give you like catering trays.
Oh,
of
like the
wings.
aluminum?
Yeah, and so we have them all covered, and then it would just be like this moment where we take off the covers of the wings, and guys would just start digging in. It was a free for all. That was fun.
That is crazy.
We would have
You always made sweet tea and by the like 5-gallon bucket, right?
Yeah, that was just a season. Some guys would make
sweet business.
a bunch of sweet tea, but yeah, what would we do together in Chicago? We had one thing we would always do is there was a Ghirardelli.
Oh yeah.
I think we've talked about this in blogs before, but there was a Ghirardelli.
Ghirardelli chocolate
store,
company or whatever
place, and whenever you walk in, you always get a free the caramel chocolate one.
It's like legit big.
So anytime we were out in the city, we would walk in there and get a free chocolate.
Is that ibuprofen kicking in yet?
I don't know. It hurts, but it's fine. Anyways,
but like for
good times in college. I don't know. Did you ever feel like doing your therapy and that sort of thing was isolating or from social things or?
Well, I think I'm kind of a weirdo in this. I had my vest and mist machine out in the lobby of my dorm floor, like the lounge. Right off the elevator, there was a lounge. And I would sit there. I had a mirror right there. I would dry my hair, do my vest, and do my mist all at the same time out in the lounge when everybody was getting ready in the morning. So, one, everybody knew I had CF because the RA asked me to share my life story with the whole dorm floor, and I was totally fine with that. So everybody knew I had CF, and everybody saw me doing my therapy. So I didn't really feel like a weirdo because I kind of just felt like part of the family. Like, oh, there's Mary doing her therapy again. Like, that's normal. But I'm trying to think of when I had my vest in, because that was on my first dorm floor. My second dorm floor, I was alone in my room. That was a very isolating situation. Both my second and third dorm floors was very isolating, but I made friends. I made it through. It's fine. Fourth dorm floor was I had my therapy stuff in my room. And then after that, I was in an apartment. So it all worked out. Every season's a little bit different, but I don't know. I guess you just figure out what works.
Yeah.
But adjusting to a new CF center was challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, it was and it wasn't. When I think back, I didn't have nervous belly before clinic. I just went and did it. Like, it wasn't a big deal. But we had a lot less health decisions to make back then. I had way less reactions. I had no reactions.
I remember you got red mans while you were in college when you went on bank.
Which I still think that was a mistake.
That you went on bank?
Yes. I wasn't aware of what I was growing in my lungs and what treated those things. Now I know what's growing. I know what medicines treat and don't treat, that sort of thing. Back then, I think I was just a little less aware. I mean, I had just turned 18, 2 days before I moved 13 hours away from my home. So I was young, but you're right. I had red man syndrome. I just remember how itchy.
Yeah.
But as far as my first 24-hour reaction, I didn't have any of that. I don't know if I had fevers back then, not with the IVs at least. So CF life was much more simple.
Yeah.
For me.
So when you would go in the hospital often you would do IVs at home, but
right.
Because you're at a new center, you would have to go in the hospital whenever you started a new antibiotic to them,
so,
first time doing it at their center. How did you do handle school stuff when that would happen.
If I remember correctly, first day of classes, I immediately after class went up, introduced myself to the professor, and educated him or her about cystic fibrosis. And then I would basically say, it's to be expected that at some point this semester I will probably be in the hospital or having to skip class because of hospital visits. And so I just want you to be aware ahead of time that this is probably going to happen. And when it happens, I'll email you to let you know, and I will do my best to keep up with the work. And they said, thank you for letting me know. And that was that. So then when, say I'd be at clinic and my PFTs dropped and I wasn't feeling good and they decided that I needed to go on IVs, I would email my professors as soon as possible and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be starting IV antibiotics. I'll probably miss next week's classes, but then I'll be in class. I'll just probably have IVs attached to me. No need to worry. I'll just hand that one paper in at a different time than the rest of the class or whatever it was. And they'd probably say, oh, we have a test that week. I'll give it to you early or late or whatever it was. So they work with me and I would just be as communicative as possible. Oh, sorry. So I think open communication is,
like up front at the beginning of class. I would say that was probably a good idea.
It worked for me.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody wants to be open about CF, and that's your decision.
Yeah.
That's your decision. I decided to be, that was when I learned to start to be open about it because I realized for me it was a necessity because I was going to have to miss class. Yeah. So I think everybody's concerned for your shoulder.
Oh, my shoulder's okay.
So you should tell them how you handle these sorts of things. Everybody knows how I handle my health.
Oh, I just ignore it.
I'll be like, how's your shoulder? How's your ankle? Whatever it is, you know? Well, one, he doesn't get hurt very often. But
yeah, I'll be like, it's fine.
Fine.
Oh man. Well, I think that college was fun and this was a fun conversation. Do you have any final words for the people?
I think college can be hard, college can be good.
Yeah.
I think college is what you make it. I was just telling a friend who just started college today, like, I remember going into that class, which people called slack class because people slacked off on it. I remember going into it thinking, I'm going to get something from this. I'm not going to slack off. And indeed, I learned things in that class that I still think about to this day. And I think life is what you make it to be. Experiences in life, if you go into it saying this is going to be awful, it's probably going to be awful. If you go into it saying, I am determined to find something good in this, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to find something that's worth celebrating. So I think, I don't know.
Yeah, perspective and priorities. I think that's good things to have. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Oh, they want to see Ollie.
Oh, Ollie boy, come on. Here. Come be the star of the show. Oh, do you want to say anything to the people before we go?
Do we say anything?
You want to say, as always?
We will. See
you
you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye, guys.